My name's Kelly, and I want to thank you guys so much for coming out. I know you could be doing a lot of other things with your night, and I want to just thank you so much for being here. And Charlene, strangely enough, found me on Facebook. Who is Facebook fans here? I love Facebook. It's a way to connect with people and to be able to reach out and help. It can be used for a really great tool if it's done like that. So thank you for reaching out to me and to TG. I'm going to start out with asking you guys a question. If we're going to do like a little game here, okay? Time travel. I want you all to be comfortable in your seats, and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to look back into your life and think back to when you were, say, 5 or 6 years old. Keep going. For some of you guys, it's a long way back, okay? Close your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Are you 5 yet? Are you 5? Yes? Are we awake? Okay, when you're 5 years old, what did you want to be? What did you dream about being? Do we have any firemen in the audience? Do we have any ballerinas, princesses? Do we have any nurses or doctors? I bet we do. Okay, now open your eyes. Have any of you guys that started off dreaming like that actually lived your authentic life that you dreamed of when you were a small child? Anybody? Really? We got one? One whole person is actually being authentic with themselves. This is incredible. My challenge for you in doing this little test tonight is to ask ourselves this question. Because I think, in my personal opinion, that God whispers to us when we're children. And He gives us His true plan for our lives as children when we're innocent and we're open to that. Now, unfortunately, life happens. We get married. We have these jobs that demand our time. We end up having children, which we love children, and we love the opportunities to work and provide for them. But sometimes we end up putting our dreams aside. Am I right? I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was a little girl, I grew up in Oklahoma City, and I was the youngest of 4 kids. My mom was all she ever dreamed of being is a housewife and a mother of children. So she met her goal, and she was completely thrilled with that. My dad, oh, he was amazing. My dad worked for Conway Twitty. Do we know any country music fans in the audience? Have you ever heard of Conway Twitty? Okay, thank goodness. That would have been a disaster, right? My dad was Conway Twitty's road manager for 25 years. That was the norm for me. I didn't know that other people's daddies weren't like working for rock stars, you know. It was not anything unusual to have somebody like Loretta Lynn or George Jones or Tammy Wynette call or come by the house. It seriously was total normal for me. So it meant that I was on the right path in a way, because I wanted to be a country music singer from the time I think I sang Rocky Top at 1 year old. It's like that's the way my brain would work. I wrote my first song when I was 6 in the bathtub, and still am writing songs in the bathtub today. I think we know we're on the right path for what God has intended for us when things are easy. And things tend to, go our way. And I think God winks at us by putting certain people in our lives to make our paths easier and kind of shine the light on what direction we're supposed to go. I was told this quote one time, and it kind of hit me really, really hard. If you think back to that little 5-year-old, and then you fast forward your life a bit, and you think, man, it's probably past me by now. I'll just settle. I'll just stay in this life that I'm in, and just, I gotta make the bills. I gotta do what I gotta do. It's never too late to be who you might have been. Want to hear that again? It's never too late to be who you might have been. Our problem as human beings is we get in our own way. We get in our own light. God is staying steady, and He has a plan for each and every one of us. We have to help one another. The more you have to be grateful for, the more you choose to be grateful for, the more God gives you things to be grateful for. The more people you help, the more people that will help you get to the path that you're supposed to be directed toward. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and throw your life earnings away on becoming a country singer. Probably not the best move. It's not an easy life. It's a lot of fun, but it's not necessarily everybody's path. But I am saying you need to consider where you are in your life. Are you happy? Is this exactly where you think you need to be? Is this where you started? Have you ended up in a slump? Well, it's never too late to be who you might have been. I'm going to fast forward a little bit into my life, and Charlene told me that when she saw my Facebook page, the reason that it spoke to her, she felt that I had an inspirational story. So do you mind if I share with you a little bit about my background and tell you more about myself? Okay, that's good. Thank you. You're not asleep. Okay, so I was raised in Oklahoma City. Conway took our families, the whole organization, from Oklahoma City to Nashville. We have anybody that's been to Nashville and visited there, or the Grand Ole Opry, or anything? It's an awesome city. And if you watch the television show Nashville, that's pretty accurate. I hate to admit it, but it's true. So I was like 7 years old. We moved to Nashville, actually Hendersonville, Tennessee. A lot of entertainers live in Hendersonville. Johnny and June Cash lived there. Lori Morgan, the Oak Ridge Boys, Ricky Skaggs, Conway. Oh man, Statler Brothers. The list goes on and on. So I was so excited to live in this town. I was going to be a country singer. At 7 years old, I knew this passion was on the line here. It was so exciting to live amongst this. And I found myself doing television shows in the Nashville area as local singer. I would sing at like Samaritan Centers. I would sing at a garage door opening, quite frankly. Anywhere anybody would have me, I would present myself to, because that's what I knew I was going to be. Nobody was going to stand in my way. I was doing really, really well. I was making great money. I had a neat booking agency, and I got to be on Star Search, like Charlene was sharing, with Ed McMahon. I mean, I'd rather have had the prize when he knocks on your door, but it was okay. It was pretty fun. Unfortunately, I stood in my own light, and I got bored, and I wanted to move out of my parents' house because I was 19. I decided to just marry the first person that asked me. Just because he asked. I mean, there was nothing more than that. I knew walking down the aisle, oh great. It was like, I was really hesitant inside, but I didn't follow my inner spirit. We know our gut instinct, I believe, is God going, hey, probably not in your best mood. You just need to, but I just kept on because I had pride. I had already sent out the invitations. I mean, you have to go through with it after that point. So I went through with it. And he wasn't a bad guy. He just wasn't the guy. But at 19, I was so smart. I knew everything, and my parents were so stupid, and, so I went on through with it. I did wait 5 years to have my first child, because I wasn't quite sure if it was going to work, but I thought, no, I'm committed to this thing. I've got to stick it out. And I tried to keep singing. I really did try to keep singing, but, when you have a little kid at the house and when you've been married, my booking agency dropped me. They said, you're obviously not focused and obviously not centered enough to do what you want to do. Again, the regret of that. I didn't understand all that. So I put myself on the back burner for years. I ended up waiting another 4 years, had a second kid, because that's what you do, right? I mean, you just do what you do. and I didn't think about anything. And then I read this book. It's called Burnt Toast. I don't know if you've ever heard of this book, but it changed my life. It's by Terry Hatcher. She was on Desperate Housewives. Women, I'm speaking to just the women right now, so boys, close your ears. Women, and tell me if I'm right, tend to put themselves on the back burner for their families. If you make a piece of toast, I can bet your bippy that if you burn that toast, you'll be scraping that thing off and eating that yourself and giving your children and your husband the good piece of toast. Am I right? I'm right. That struck a chord with me so much, I thought, wait a minute. I woke up in my marriage. I had a choice and I had a voice. Okay. I didn't scrape any more toast off after I read that. I was to the point where if I had 5 M&Ms, I would give you 4, and I might take one of them myself if it had the crack in it. I mean, I just would not put myself forward for anything. I felt that that was not presentable. You know, as women, we tend to do that. I learned that lesson first off. So, a big pivotal thing happened in my life. My father, at 56 years old, he was like John Wayne. He was everything to me. Died. Wow. The things that my husband never took care of around the house, I always relied on my dad because I knew he would do everything. He was just my rock. You could never live up to my dad. So my poor ex-husband, he was always wrong anyway. But anyway, are we filming this? Oh, poor thing. I shouldn't say bad. He's a good guy. But my dad died. And you know, I realized right then and there that I either had to just lay down and just do nothing and just die along with this man, or have learned something from his life. He never wanted me to get married that young. He certainly didn't want me to marry this particular person. And I wanted to honor my dad. And I just started looking at myself more valuably and my life more valuably. I wanted to do something worthwhile and get back into what made me feel alive again. Because man, life's short, isn't it? Has somebody died in your life that just has left you just raw and searching for things that you didn't even know existed inside you? I grew so brave, and I thought I was so weak. It was the weirdest thing. It was like a leaf turned over in me. Like an actual glitch in my system was worked out. All of a sudden, I realized that being alone and happy was better than being together and miserable. And again, not that he was a bad guy, and I do not advocate divorce, but it just, for me, in the Bible, it talked about being unequally yoked. I certainly was. And I won't go into details as to why, just trust me, okay? Just trust me. Fast forward a little bit. Because I hadn't sung in all of those years, I didn't think I was worth anything in the music industry. I wrote a little bit, and I wrote a lullaby tape for my kids, but that's all I thought I was diminished to as a mom of 2 and an ex-wife with no career anymore. Oh, I was so lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. I really, really didn't. But I realized after watching Joel Osteen, do we have any Joel Osteen fans in the house? Because I love him. I've been fortunate enough to become friends with Joel, and so what he says really sticks true with us, and with me especially. He is the real deal, guys. He is such a good guy. He really, really is. But he said something one day that just was like an aha moment for me. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Huh. Okay. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. I like that, right? I thought it was kind of a challenge. Oh man, don't get me started on challenges. I like them. So much that after I divorced my husband, and I was scared to death, scared to death. My little girls were 5 and 9 years old. I had no career skills. I was just a chick singer mama. I decided that I was going to get into the spray tanning business. Really, seriously, I really thought that was a good plan for me. And I even traded my wedding ring in on a tanning spray machine. Don't you think that's a good trade-off? It's pretty wise, right? And you know what? I realized I was not in the right business when this lady came to me, and well, let's just say she had beans for lunch. And it just was not a pleasant experience. And I didn't say anything out loud wrong, did I? Was it? I was mortified that is what I'd reduced myself down to. No, I couldn't do that. That was not for me. So I did what every red-blooded American girl does, and I get into real estate. I was really actually proud of myself that I passed the test the first time because I was never much of a student in school. But real estate to me really was a challenge, and I grew a lot of respect for realtors. The paperwork in itself is just, oh, the red tape, and I'm like such a creative type. You can tell by my hair that I don't do paperwork. This is what my paperwork looks like at home. It's like, ugh. My poor clients, I had, what, 2 in a year, maybe. It just was not for me. And that's how you can tell if you're on the right path or not. Because God will go, no, honey. You know, he'll just like slide you over here and make things a little bit more difficult until we can get out of our own way. So I'm in real estate class, hating every moment of this life, thinking, oh man, I wish I could sing real estate or something, you know, just anything with music, I'd be happy. This lady comes up to me at a real estate class. I have no idea who she is. I honestly couldn't tell you what her name is or what she looks like, but she came up to me and she said, hey, aren't you Kelly Lang? Aren't you the singer or songwriter? Yes. I was so embarrassed. I did not want to be recognized at this spot. And she goes, I remember reading an article about your singing and your music, and I remember God wanted me to tell you something, like a plan for your life. Really? Like, at this point I'm like, why would he tell you and not tell me? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. I found out later that God works through all of us to help each other. And it didn't dawn on me that that was the dot that I needed connecting at that point. I continued to go on through real estate. A few months later, I see this girl again. At this point, I think she's whack job. I'm at Target with my kids, getting ready to, unfortunately, update my real estate license. She goes, hey, aren't you Kelly Lang? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm the one that prayed for you. I know who you are. And I appreciated her prayers. I became a Christian at 12 years old, and believe me, I've worn out a lot of carpet praying, and I'm thankful to have God to come to. But at this point in my life, some stranger praying for me, I was thankful for this, you know. So she said, I remember what God has in store for you. He said to me that you're going to be a celebrity. And I'm like, you have lost your mind. I'm shopping in Target and just hoping to God I can pay for what I'm buying here. That's way in the past. And she goes, no. In the future, you're not aiming high enough. You got to aim high at that mountain, and you got to dream really, really big. Because if you don't, guess where you're going to be? You're not going to be on top of the mountain. You're not going to be anywhere. She said, just trust me. Let me pray for you. So this stranger laid hands on me and prayed with me. And she said, God, please put your hands on this woman. Please help her get her music out of her, because she loves music so much, and let that be the talent that you use to talk to people and to help people and to inspire others. Let her music be heard all over the world, and let her feel fulfillment in her own life and in others' lives. Amen. Okay. Thank you. I thought that was very generous. And you know what? 2 days later, now get this now, I'm 36 years old at the time. Nashville don't sign people in their 30s. You have to be 14 to get a record deal anymore. It's never too late to be who you might have been, kept running through my head at this moment. 2 days go by after this prayer, and I get a phone call from a new record label in town that happened to hear my music and wanted to sign me sight unseen. And guess what the name of this record label was? Destiny Row. God? Wait, are you serious? 3 months after that, after I recorded an album for them, I started receiving emails from all over the world. Malta. I didn't even know Malta was a country or a city or town. I don't even know where it is. Somewhere near Monte Carlo or something. Somebody there emailed me. In Europe, all over, like, you know, Scotland and Ireland. It was just amazing. These people started hearing my music and emailing me. I sit up and listen. When somebody tells me God has something to tell me, believe me, it is true. Believe yourself. Has anybody ever had that experience before? Somebody come and give you a message? If you haven't, it's a wonderful experience. And I pray for that for anybody here because it's an incredible existence, I tell you. So, naturally, I'm all ears. I'm all in. I'm so excited. This is so cool. If I never got paid a dime, I'm on the right path. I feel it. Oh, my goodness, I feel a lump. I feel a lump. I'm 36. No way. Well, I go to my regular doctor and she says, you're too young. You can't have cancer. You're too young. Don't worry about it. You just go and do your thing. Okay. I believed her. She helped me have 2 of my kids. I trust her. I trust all doctors, right? Sorry, doctors. If there's any in the house. I learned to be very proactive with not only my career, but with my health. Because 8 months later, I feel another lump. I'm thinking, man, this is just not normal. Something is just not right. My gut instinct, which I do believe is God whispering to us, told me, go to get a diagnostic mammogram and go check this out. I think it was like in every magazine I would read, have you had your mammogram done? And every television I would turn over, cancer under 40. I knew. The mammogram did not show any cancer. Oh man, I'm scot-free. But something told me, no, go ask for an ultrasound. I go and ask for an ultrasound. It turned up clean. I'm all... I asked the radiologist, I said, ma'am, I know I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your job, and that's certainly not my place to tell you how to use this, the ultrasound wand, but can I show you what I'm feeling? Within 2 seconds, her face fell flat. And she goes, I'm so sorry I missed this. A few days go by, I had a biopsy, and I'm in Marshall's shopping for Christmas. It's December the 15th, my brother's birthday, shopping for Christmas, and the doctor calls me. He's interrupting my day. I already know I don't have anything going on. I need to get some Christmas shopping done. And this doctor says, are you sitting down? Yeah. I found a stool to sit on. This is so weird. It's taking my time. Miss Lang, you have breast cancer. Wow. Man, has anybody ever heard that before? Yes. 1 out of 8 women. I bet there's more than one in this room. I have what? I'm a singer. That ain't What did you say? I had what? Wow. What am I supposed to do about it? You gonna cut it out and let me go do my thing? Because I'm on a record label called Destiny Row Records, and I don't think that is in the cards for this record label. Ma'am, you have to have surgery right away. And it's serious. Stage 2, I had to have chemo and radiation. Chemo. I do not look good bald. I'm telling you right now, it was not my friend. Radiation is the gift that keeps giving, and it's not something I would ever recommend for me to go through, because it was tough, I'll be honest with you. But cancer does not define me. It's something that happened to me, but I've learned that because of the cancer, I've turned into a whole entire different person. And I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm personally grateful for the lessons that I have learned because of going through that experience. I do not want to go through it again. But can I share with you some of the lessons that I've learned? First of all, I was dating a wonderful man, sweetheart of a guy. He just really had a commitment problem. I mean, my kids were tiny, and they were, they were handfuls. Pubescent teenage girls, right? I wouldn't take them on. There was no way. And he was so sweet, but he just had a little commitment problem. Well, this was my way of going, look, I love you very much, but you might need to move on. I'm going to die. And you don't need to be around for this, because I'm a singer with cancer, and it's just too much drama for anybody, rather less you with a commitment problem, so it might be in your best interest to move on. And he just wouldn't. He just stayed, and he stayed. Well, I found myself, again, as that woman that put everybody in front of me. I found myself not wanting to cry around anybody. So I just, oh my goodness, I just stayed at home one day when I let the kids out to school. I stayed at home one day, and I got out of the shower. I was by myself. Nobody had seen me without a wig or makeup or something to make myself feel normal. And I remember really specifically one day, I got out of the shower and I really looked at myself in the mirror. Like, you know how we can get ready and look and put our makeup on, but we don't really look into our soul in the mirrors. We don't really look at the color of our eyes or what's staring back at us. But this day in particular, I saw a monster. Scars all over me with Sharpie markers all over my body. Greenish color and bald. No eyelashes, no eyebrows. It was really freaking me out. This was one of those days that I wailed. I did not cry. It was a wail that I didn't even have words to pray to God and ask for His help. I had nothing left. I'd given it all away. God, why? Why me? This is my opportunity to sing again. And then it dawned on me, well, why not me? It's like everybody's got something. But I couldn't stop from crying. It was the worst cry in the world. I didn't know that the man that I was dating had let himself into my condo. We didn't live together, so I was surprised he even knew how to get in. He let himself in the condo, and he ran upstairs, and he saw me in this state, and I think it completely freaked him out. He wrapped me up in like a white terry cloth robe and pulled me down on the ground and began to rock me. And he said, "You are the most beautiful woman in the world, and I will never leave you. I don't care if you have cancer. I don't care if you don't have cancer. I don't care if you sing another note. I don't care anything. I just am in love with you and your heart, and I'm never leaving you." Really? I was just blown away by that. What a man, right? That is a real man right there. And I'm so fortunate to be able to call him my husband now. We married a few years after that. And I'm just so thankful to be able to tell you that he stood by me. These men out here that have dealt with this, with their women having these issues or female issues, any kind of health issues, man, stick by your girls. You're so much more of a man when you do that. It's just so sexy. Within this time period, I thought, okay, I've given up on my singing. Maybe it is too late to be who I would have been. Oh man, I just can't believe this. During my treatments, I decided that being the mom, being that woman that I told you about earlier, I had a lot of lessons to learn. First of all, I learned the biggest thing. This is going to help everybody in this room, men or women. No is a complete sentence. Is that the funniest thing or what? I'm like, what? Women can't say no. I mean, can you be on the board of so-and-so? Well, you know what? I'd love to, but my kids are going to blah, blah, blah. The answer is no. When you've been diagnosed with cancer, you don't have time to explain and all of the reasons why you don't want to be on somebody's board or why you don't have time to take over, so-and-so. You're just trying to survive. And no was my answer to a lot of things, and that's okay. I learned to let other people help me, which I'd never done before, ever. People offered to clean my house. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. Wow, free house cleaning. I kind of liked that. That was kind of neat. Somebody offered to cook me dinner. Okay, yeah. I got used to being nurtured, which I had been the nurturer for so long. I'd forgotten that women are supposed to be pampered and nurtured and taken care of. So I found a soft side of myself throughout the breast cancer story. I also found things to be very grateful for, like silly things. At the time that I had a window in my bedroom and light would come in and wake me up every morning at 5:30 in the morning. I hated that. But the day after I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I cherished that. I loved the light coming in my door. I live really big now. I eat on my fine china for breakfast. I burn really good candles, and I sleep on fantastic sheets every night. Nothing gets by me. If you would allow me to, I would like to sing you a song that I wrote right before my diagnosis with breast cancer. And it's so funny because it's like, I basically am telling a story of someone who is trying to help other people around them be okay with their illness. I didn't know it was me I was talking about. So if you don't mind, I would like to sing you this song, and I'd like to dedicate it to my husband, T.G. Shepherd, tonight, because without him, I seriously would not be alive. And I want to thank him for helping me, and the song is called I'm Not Going Anywhere. Michael, thank you. Take my hand, don't let go. Look in my eyes and in my soul. Hold me near, please let go of all your fear. I'm not going anywhere. Seasons change with the wind, but I'll be here till the end. Friends may come and then they go, but there's one thing you should know: I'm not going anywhere. I'd give my heart to you. weren't breathing, you have no burden that I wouldn't bear. I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be here when you close your eyes. There's no place I'd rather be than here by your side. I'd give my heart to you if you ever stop beating. Part your lips with mine. If you weren't breathing, you had no burden that I wouldn't bear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere. Hard to get through. At that place in my life, after having heard the cancer word, man, I was not going to let cancer kill me. Cancer may have taken part of me, but I can survive anything. Right? It's just a bump in the boob. Wasn't that big a deal, really. I try to tell myself that because I refuse to give up. I'm not going to give up. God whispered at me when I was 6 years old. He told me, you can, and I will help you. Now get up. The doctor told me that he can tell who's going to survive that kind of breast cancer or any kind of cancer by your attitude. If you have an attitude for gratitude, he will help you. You got to be finding things to be thankful for. So wow, I can write songs. That song that I just sang for you, I'm friends with a lot of entertainers, always have been, but I never showed them that I could write. I never told a soul. I had the courage at this time to give that song to Lori Morgan, who is my friend, but she didn't know I wrote. She thought that song was perfect for her on her project. She asked if I would please write with her whole entire album. Do y'all know who Lori Morgan is? She was my idol. Are you kidding? She's my friend, yes, but musically, oh my goodness, I wrote her whole entire album with her. It was a whole year of hanging with her and writing with her. I'm on the right track again. I may be bald, but it didn't matter what I look like, I can write, you know. I realized that looks are really not what matters. It has nothing to do with anything. It's a beauty from within. Girls, take it from me. If you can find a sweet spot inside you, regardless of what you look like on the outside, you will radiate beauty. Men, a confident woman is beautiful. Am I right? I found confidence amongst horrible. And I learned to really like become and who I still am growing towards. But at this time I was writing most every day. I began singing all these songs, and that part of my life was going fantastic. But I couldn't get the guy that I loved to marry me. I was still stuck in that place. 7 years it took. I got an attitude. Dude, you can either marry me or you can move on. Because at 40 at this time, I didn't need none of that. I had already beaten cancer, and I can beat you too. Because there's many more fish in the sea, all that stuff. I was madly in love with him. That was the problem. I couldn't move on because I feel that God destined me to be with this man. We tried to break it off. We just were destined to be together, and we're much better for it, and we're much happier for it. But before this happened, somebody gave me this book. I won't even tell you what book it is. It's a silly little book. But what I learned from this book is something that I would like to challenge you all to try to do for yourselves, because it has rocked my world. It's changed everything in my life. Everything. I went to the store. I got a bulletin board. And I actually honored this bulletin board by putting it in a gorgeous frame. And I cut out pictures of things that I wanted. Not things that I thought I deserved, because I didn't really feel like I deserved a whole lot, but I had a lot of dreams that I just never thought I could afford to meet. I wanted a nice, gorgeous home, and I was living in a really tiny, modest condo with my kids. I wanted to not have to worry about mundane, everyday things. I wanted a husband. If he didn't want me, I didn't want him. Yeah, right. But I put a picture of a generic husband on this board, just in case. You never know. I put a picture of a wedding ring. I put a picture of the type of car I wanted. And you have to get really specific with the color of car, because I really wanted a white one, and I ended up with a silver one, which was on the bulletin board. I really wanted a grand piano, because I had to sell my grand piano when I went through my divorce, when I lost myself the first time. I wasn't going to lose myself again. But the thing is, I'm trying to explain to you, I had no idea how I was going to get all this stuff, because it had been the same for years. Within 3 months of putting this wish board together, and it was real specific too. I even wrote out details of what I wanted beside the pictures. I really felt that I owned these things that were on this board, and it was almost like I didn't even need them after I put them on there. I felt so passionate about them. Within 3 months, I was engaged. I had my house. I had the car. Wow, this worked. Within 6 months, I had the piano. I had the swimming pool within a year. Whoa, this is powerful stuff. And it wasn't that it was such materialistic things. It was just knowing that whatever we look towards, whatever we put our focus on, whatever we concentrate on the most, we attract to ourselves. In the Bible, it's called prayer. It's called having faith. It's called asking, and you shall receive. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes it's maybe later. But the answer is always no until you ask. The answer is always no until you ask. I like that, because I was always too afraid to ask for anything. Well, as I go on through my journey, I've learned all these little tidbits of things, and the one thing I can take out of this, I've gone on to do even bigger dreams. The more I would take off of my wish board, as I would attract these into my life. And the swimming pool blows my mind. That's the coolest one. TG, I want a swimming pool. He goes, huh? I don't really want one, Kelly, but I do. And if you don't have to pay for it, what do you think about if I got you a free swimming pool? He said, you can't get me a free, who would give you a pool? How do you give a free pool? I said, just trust me, I just believe that we can do this. I found a company that wanted to sponsor a country music singer's swimming pool. So the day they were bringing it over our house, I go, yeah, I don't know how they're going to do this, but so I challenge you to dream big, man. Don't put any small things on your wish boards. But it's a fun thing to do, and it's just a challenge. You can even put on there, somebody will buy me a free cup of coffee. Just test it out. It works, trust me. It really works. But in doing all of this, and going through the history with my breast cancer and coming out of this, I've challenged myself to do more things, putting bigger and bolder things on my board. And one of the things that I wanted to do this last year, I wanted to play the Ryman Auditorium. Has anybody ever heard of that room? It's the original room. It was a church. It was the original room where the Grand Ole Opry, and it's still performed there on occasion. Most beautiful stage in the world. And I wasn't quite at the level in my career where I could honestly say I could perform there. So that went on my wish board. Singing with Barry Gibb. Boy, do y'all know who Barry Gibb is? Did you know that he's the second highest music royalty earner underneath Paul McCartney in the world? He's a rock star. Really, he really is a rock star. And he asked to sing with me. Wait, on the Grand Ole Opry. I like this wish board. This is really fun. Wonder who else I'm gonna meet. It's just fun. I'm living a very full life right now. My kids are 18 and 22. They're wonderful girls. Wonderful girls. They love TG with everything that's in them. And I try to teach them the important things in life are right here. They're the person sitting next to you that you can still hug. They're the moms in the audience tonight. If they're with you tonight, give them a hug, give them a kiss. They might not be here tomorrow. We're just guaranteed right now. Don't wait till tomorrow to dream. Don't wait till tomorrow to put off what you really wished you could have done 10, 20 years ago. You don't have time. Time's a wasting. You really don't. I wrote this next song about that very subject. And actually, Lauren Morgan and I wrote this together. And Ricky Skaggs and TG cut this on a duet album. And I really think the words are profound to each and every one of us. And I hope that you enjoy this. I had this on the 1111 album as well. So if you like it, let us know what you think about it. Here we go. Can you turn it up just a tiny bit, Michael? That'd be one of church.
If you knew it was the last time you taste your mama's cooking, bet you'd savor every bite and ask for more. If you knew it was the last time your daddy took you fishing, bet you wouldn't be so quick to rush to shore. If you heard the same old story 100 times before, bet you'd listen to your grandma tell them just once more. If you knew, oh, if you knew, if you knew the man on the street holding up my sign, will work for you. now, regretting words you'd say if you knew. Oh, if you knew. If you knew it was the last breath that you'd ever breathe, that you'd beg God for forgiveness while dropping to your knees. If you knew, oh, if you knew, it was the last time you taste your mama's cooking. It was the last time your daddy took you fishing. They wouldn't be here when you woke up today. It was the last breath you would ever take if you knew. What would you do if you if you knew.
Thank you so much. A friend of ours, he's a Scottish man, and he has the funniest little limerick things that he says. He talks in little chit-chatty things all the time, and one of the toasts that he taught us is when you toast, like at a wedding, never above you, never below you, always beside you. That's so cute. And he also taught us, leap out into the abyss and a net will appear and catch you. I know, I liked that one too. It's kind of fruity, but it works. And so, I challenge each and every one of you. I don't know if anybody heard anything I had to say tonight, but my prayer is that maybe just one person can take one thing from that I've lived through in my life and apply it to theirs. Or maybe you can share it with somebody that's going through a hard time. I told God if He could help me get through breast cancer, which was seriously the hardest thing in my life. I don't know, raising teenage girls, I don't know. Teenage girls may win out, but now that I think about it, tell God if He could please help me get through that part, that I would do my part and try to encourage women. Try to encourage men too, hopefully through this. That cancer is not a death sentence. It was actually a life sentence for me. It challenged me to dream bigger, live bigger lives, and leap out into the abyss. So that's our challenge for each other for tonight. And if we can take that home and encourage one another. I want to thank you all so much for having me tonight. And Charlene, what you're doing here for this Samaritan Center is just amazing. I mean, I've never met a woman like this before. Do you all know her? She's like 20 people. 20 people rolling around in this one little girl. She's a rock star in herself. I was teasing with her at lunch today. I said, you better be careful not saying no to anything and take good care of yourself because we need you desperately. And I was teasing her. I said, what's going to happen to you if you keep working this hard? You're going to get pneumonia or something. She said, yeah, I already had that a while back. We got to take care of ourselves. I would like to take the time right now to introduce you to the love of my life. He's the rock beneath my rhinestone. He's the stud. I would tease him. He's the glue beneath my rhinestone, I should say. This man he's a legend in country music. If you follow country music at all, you will definitely know his songs. He's had 21 #1 hits. That's remarkable, you know? I mean, he's the kind of guy when you go to his concert, I didn't know you sang that. Oh, honey, we kissed to that one, or we danced to that one. This is the guy. He's a very humble guy, and he really is a great husband, great father, wonderful Christian man. He prays with me every single day, sometimes several times a day, for even little specific things, even our puppies. He's very specific about little things like that. You may know his music, but I wish that I had 10 hours to tell you about his heart. Best man I've ever met in my life. Would you please make welcome to the stage my adorable husband, T.G. Shepherd. We're going to sing a song from our iconic duet album.
Wow. Well, how y'all doing? Great, good job.
Well, thank you.
Well, you just bared your soul today.
Well, we're friends. We're all best friends here now.
Yeah. Well,
Y'all won't tell anybody, will you?
do we really have any country fans here?
You do?
Oh, come on now, do we? I have to share a little story with people because I think every now and then, you know, we all dream of being who we want to be in life. And like you said, it's never too late to be who you might have been. But we all have those little ego checks every now and then that kind of puts us right down here, you know. And I enjoy sharing this because not long ago I was flying from Los Angeles to Daytona Beach, Florida to do the national anthem for the Daytona 500. And I'm sitting on the plane and the flight attendant, the lady came out, she said, "Mr. Shepherd," and I said, "Yes." And she says, "Would you mind signing an autograph for the captain's daughter? Her name is Sarah." I said, "I'd be honored to." So I signed it, and all the time there's this guy over here sitting next to me on the other side of the aisle, and he never wanted to say anything throughout the flight because he didn't want to be embarrassed by asking me who I was. Well, I'm standing at the luggage carousel in Daytona Beach, and this guy comes running over to me, and he said, "I am so sorry that I didn't recognize who you was on the plane." I said, "Well, that's," he said, "You know, you're much younger looking than I thought you'd be." I said, "Well, thank you so much." He said, "Tell me, when was it you went to the moon as an astronaut?" I said, "No, I'm a country singer, T.G." He said, "I never heard of you." Not everybody's a country fan, but Kelly and I recently recorded can I get a little bit more in here? A new iconic duet album called Iconic Duets, and we're going to be autographing some of those duets, CDs after the show.
You know, as a married couple, we get along fantastic. And we do, it's okay. We get along fantastic. We're best of friends, and we've been through a whole lot together, as I shared with you guys. And I thought I knew everything about him until we went in the studio together, which was eye-opening because I am, like my hair, very messy, and I don't bring lyrics with me. As you see, I don't even know where my notes are for tonight. My glasses are over there, by the way. I need to go get them. Anyway, so I don't pay attention to details. I'm getting my glasses before I forget.
Where do you need you going? Oh.
So anyway,
stick them in my pocket.
Okay. So this is how I am in the studio.
I'm going home with you.
He's very analytical, and he had to have every lyric sheet set straight. So we learned a lot about each other, and it was a fun process. And some of these songs are like Sonny and Cher, and Tammy and George, and Conway and Loretta. And we chose these songs because we love the songs, and we feel like music is what feelings sound like. And we're so excited to share our music with you tonight. And you know, maybe you can take some home with you. Do we have an unlimited supply?
Well, we only have a limited amount of these CDs with us tonight, and when they're all gone, I'll bring out another limited supply of CDs. Let's do one of the songs, one of the duets.
Yeah, let's do.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you again for having us. We've had a blast, and I hope that you've enjoyed my part of the presentation. It's my honor to be here, and we're going to leave you with a little song from Johnny and June, okay? Y'all can just sing it if you want to. We just did this on the Opry a couple of weeks ago. Oh, another wish board.
Jackson, ever since the fire went out, I'm going to Jackson. I'm gonna mess around. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. Look out in Jackson town.
Well, go on down to Jackson. Go ahead and wreck your head. Go play your hand, you big talking man. Make a big fool of yourself. You're going to Jackson. Go comb your hair.
Honey, I'm gonna snowball Jackson.
See if I can.
When I breeze into that city, people gonna stoop and bow. All of them women gonna make me teach them what they don't know how. I'm going to Jackson. You turn loose of my coat. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson.
Goodbye, that's all she wrote.
Sing it, baby.
What the loud about you in Jackson? I'll be dancing on a pony head. They'll lead you around like a scalding hound with your tail tucked between your legs. Yeah, going to Jackson. You be talking, man. I'll be waiting in Jackson. Behind my tape and fan. Well,
We got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going to Jackson.
that's a fact. Yeah, we're going to Jackson.
Let me have a hand.
Coming back. One more time, you ready? Well,
We got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout.
I can't hear ya.
We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going to Jackson.
That's a fact. Yeah, we're going to Jackson. We're never coming back. Oh yeah. We got pepper fever. Hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you very much.
Kelly Lane.
Thank you so much. It's very hard to bury your soul, but this makes it all worthwhile.
We'll be back at the autograph table wherever that is. Come on, say hello.